guys, it's Kat and I'm back today just to do a sort of get ready with me, doing my eye makeup. I wanted to use these eyeshadows here. So I received my first ever Clionadh Cosmetics. They're an indie brand from Canada, and they had a bundle, an eyeshadow bundle that I was really interested in. I think it's called the Dreamweaver Bundle. I'll have it on the screen now. And I wanted to try it. I like the colors. I've heard great things about their eyeshadows. So I thought, okay, this is the thing that's going to make me order some. So I placed an order with Hayley. It took about a month to arrive, but I've been told that they were sort of backlogged and shipping takes a while, like a couple of weeks to actually get across the world anyway. So if you do order from them, or if you have ordered from them and you're wondering why you haven't received it, it should come, but it does take a while. It took us over a month to get ours. But I did use these eyeshadows yesterday. I put a look up on Instagram and I had a couple of people ask for me to recreate it, and I'm not going to recreate it today, but I do want to delve into more of these eyeshadows. So I was really surprised that that look was so sort of easy to do, even though it's very colorful. It was very simple to apply. It seemed very pigmented, nicely blendable. So it kind of gave me the, not inspiration, but I really wanted to play with more of these shadows. So in here, I've put them in my Z palette. You can't really see the colors all that much. There is some of the Dreamweaver collection in here, so the whole collection's in there. But also Clionadh noticed that Hayley had placed the order, and they added in a few more eyeshadows for us to try as well. So this is the bundle plus other eyeshadows. This is not just the bundle. You get 13 shades in the bundle. This is a few more, but I really wanted to play with them. And I've got one here that I wanted to just show you how they arrive. So I was very happy to see that the single eyeshadows arrive in these little sort of containers, and they're very sturdy, which is good because these are fragile eyeshadows. So you can see they've got a little like clamshell. You open it up. So it's got a little piece of paper in there, but also a little bit of like packing. I don't know, it's like this little foamy bit. Yeah, it's like a foamy little disc to really prevent it from breaking in there. And none of the eyeshadows arrived broken, which we were very excited to see. This is one of the shades that I didn't actually put into my Z palette just yet, just to show you how it arrives. Oh my God, I'm so glad I caught that. So yeah, I was very impressed with the way they packed them. They're a normal eyeshadow pan. They're 1.7 grams. This one's called Subzero. I did want to mention though that the first one I put in my Z palette, I sort of just plonked it in and it actually cracked a little bit. I'll show it to you close up in a second. So when you do put these, which they are magnetic pans, when you put them in an eyeshadow palette, make sure you put them in very carefully, because if you just sort of plonk them and let the magnet attach the eyeshadow to the palette, they could crack a little bit. So I did that to this one here. So hopefully you can see the shades that I've got. Most of them are shimmers. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes. This one is like a matte red, but it's got some gold reflect in it. And I'm going to show them to you really close up, but I'm thinking of doing one eye using these kind of colors and then the other eye using these kind of colors. So we'll see how we go with that. But here are the shades up close. You can see that they've got some beautiful finishes. Some of them are more duochrome, some of them are more sparkly. You can see that gold in that red, and you can see where that cracked. So I just plonked it in and it just cracked. So they are very fragile. But they are very beautiful. All right, so I have put some primer on my eyes. I've just put the NARS primer in the shade medium. And what I might have to do is list the eyeshadows in the description box as I use them, because since the names are on the back, but they are very fragile, I don't want to have to keep taking them out and putting them back in as I talk about them. So as I use them, I'll probably list them in the description box in the order that I use them in. All right, I'm going to start with the mattes, and I'm thinking of using the yellow and the pink that I've got. I was sort of thinking of, I don't know, how do I incorporate all shades? And I was thinking of using pink on the inner part, sort of this bronzy color on the outer part, and maybe some purple on the lower lash line. So that's what I'm thinking of maybe doing here. So I've just tapped into that yellow shadow, and even though it picks up a lot of product, you can see that it's It's quite a soft, powdery formula for this particular matte. Maybe I'll put this on the inner part. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, like I said, I'm doing 2 looks today, and I was gonna do this tomorrow, but then I thought, no, I actually have to properly leave the house tomorrow. Today I need to go to the supermarket, so this is gonna be on while I go to the supermarket. There's a little bit of fallout with this particular matte. Ooh, oh well. But I thought, you know, it's best to not have to go to the city wearing 2 different eyeshadow looks. All right, I'm just using the shade underneath it, which is that pink. I really like the pigmentation of these mattes. They really go on, like this is with a blending brush. Like it's so beautiful, but they are very soft. They almost remind me in the pan, not as bad, but very soft like the Subculture palette. They're not as like pigmented and hard to blend, but you pick up a lot of product. So you just have to touch your brush in very, very slightly. But I really like this kind of color combo. All right, I'm putting a shimmery pink that's not really transferring with this particular brush. All right, natural hair picks that up a lot better. Oh, very sparkly, very pigmented. So this is a shimmery pink that's very sparkly and very beautiful. Yeah, this picked up a lot better with a natural hair brush, but that is super pigmented and pretty. Look at that. And just on the same brush, I'm using that one bronze shade that I have. This is like the one brownie shade. Everything else is really colorful, but this also applies really nicely. It's packing it on a little bit more, so it's mixing a little bit with the pink and turning into more of a taupe. But on its own, when you pack it on, it is definitely more of a bronzy sort of shade. So just to clarify, I use that on the inner corner, that on the outer half, and now I'm dipping into this red a little bit. This is also a very powdery pigmented one. I've just done it on the other side of this particular brush, and I'm just tapping it on the very, very outer portion of the eye. These do really pack a punch with pigmentation. All right, just with the original brush and the original 2 crease colors, I'm just building that up a little bit. There is a bit of fallout. So I would probably recommend, yesterday when I used these bluier shades, they didn't have as much fallout. But these ones, especially the mattes, do. They're beautiful though, look at it. So I would recommend doing your base after these, or put a layer of powder so it sort of catches it. All right, on my lower lash line, I want to use some purples. I might use some of this color in the outer corner, and this one is like a duochrome silver shade, and I might use that one as well. I might use those 3. All right, I'm starting with the one that's sort of got oh, I do have some yellow in there. It's making me look a little bit jaundiced. This is the one that's got sort of like a blue shift. It's like a soft lavender color with a bit of a blue shift. It's right down the bottom of the palette. I thought I'd start here because the one with more of a silver shift I want to put in the inner corner. I've just picked up a little bit. It is a very pretty color. Then I'm going with that sort of dark magenta pinky purple just in the outer portions. These are vibrant colors and they don't take much effort to apply, which is fantastic. Other brands, you know, to get the same pigmentation, you need to really layer them, but this one, they're really, really pretty. So I'm just putting that silvery one on the inner corner, so it's a soft purple with more of a light champagne kind of shift to it. So you can see this one has like a silvery shift, that's got like a bluey shift, and that's more of a magenta. Very, very pretty. So probably besides the fallout, this was a very easy look to achieve. Like this took me what? Probably, this has been recording for 16 minutes and a lot of it was my intro. So it probably only took me 5 minutes to do. They do apply really nicely. It's just a matter of choosing the right brushes with some of the shimmers, because some of them don't pick up as well on like flat synthetic brushes. And then also you just have to deal with some fallout, but otherwise they're really, really beautiful eyeshadows. Also, the mattes are very powdery, so it's definitely something to be careful about. They're the ones that are quite delicate and you barely have to touch your brush in because they're a little bit powdery. But just to recap, I used this on the middle part of my lower lash line, this one on the inner part, and then that one on the outer part of my lower lash line. All right, so I want to try to achieve the same sort of look on this eye, but just using the blues and greens. So I might have to go in with some similar mattes. I'm thinking of starting with the yellow again, just here, and then going greens on the top lid. I want to sort of mimic this. So maybe a brighter green color and then more of a muted green where I had this bronze, blending it out with, I don't even have matte greens, but oh well, we'll make it work. Darker color, and then on the lower lash line I'm thinking of going more of the sort of frosty blues. So that's, I think, what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to start with that yellow again, and it is very, very powdery. I would probably, I don't know, if you don't like dealing with super powdery eyeshadows, like, you can definitely make it work, it's not a problem, but it's just a little bit messy in the palette, and also I just feel like they're very delicate. I'm a bit worried that if I ever drop this palette, they would totally crumble. But I'm going in with, but because I don't have a matte to put in the crease, I'm actually going for that one there, that sort of vibrant aqua color. I'm thinking that might be cool. I might put this one here in the inner corner, then one of these two, and then the blues on the lower lash line. Yeah, the shimmers are a lot more firmer to pick up. So you can see, oh, that is a pretty color. Jeez. If that applies like this with a fluffy brush, holy Jesus. That is extraordinary. Almost too much color. I'm going to go in with the soft matte down the bottom, the blue, just to sort of blend that out a tiny bit. My golly gosh. And just a touch of yellow to sort of blend that in a little bit. So I'm going a frosty light green. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. This is a really light shade. I'll show it to you in a second. I thought it was going to be a topper shade, but it really packs a punch. Okay, I'm going to have to go back in with that yellow in a second, but golly gee. All right, to tone it down, I'm using, this is one of those sort of blue-brown pigment ones where it's got a bit of a brown base and then like a greeny sort of shift to it. All right, even though I don't mind this green, I sort of want to pat a different green over the top because I just don't think it works as well with the look. All right, to recap, the lid, I used that on the inner corner. Originally used that on the outer corner, but I didn't love it, so I changed it to this one. I'm now going to use this bluey gray color on my lower lash line, this sort of icy blue on the inner corner, and then probably this one on the outer corner. All right, this color is really beautiful. It's like a soft blue green, but it's got like a gold shimmer in it, which makes it really, really, really pretty. So this icy blue shade reminds me of that green. It's like a almost iridescent light shade that could be used as a topper, but it also reflects this beautiful light blue color. Then I'm doing more of your true blue on the outer corner there. Just adding a little bit more yellow because I feel like I've lost a lot of that. All right, so both looks of these look pretty cool. This one's a lot more sort of peacocky because it's mainly blues and greens. I don't have the depth that I've got here. So this, I did have some darker colors like a red and a brown, and I like this look more because I think the depth of having like a dark red really grounds the look and completes it. This one, even though it does look cool, I feel like I need a little bit more depth here. And I'm gonna do something a little bit weird. I'm gonna try to put some of that same red that I put here just right in the outer corner there to add a little bit of depth. So you can always mix and match, and it's creating a bit of a cool sort of purple color. So yeah, there you can see that I've added that red and it's sort of helped complete the look. It's just sort of grounded it, made it look a little bit more cohesive. So what I'm gonna go do now is put some black liner on, some mascara, a brown in the waterline of each, and let you know what I think about these eyeshadows. All right, I didn't actually intend to create a rainbow, but clearly that's what I've done by accident. I've just put on the, what is it, Benefit Roller Liner in black. I used Benefit Roller Lash Mascara, and I just popped a little bit of this Marc Jacobs fine liner pencil on my waterline. So that's what I've done. I sort of just, I didn't expect this to be rainbow. I didn't even think I had like enough colors in this palette to create a rainbow, but clearly with the mixing of colors like the pink and the yellow, I created more orange. Putting a pop of red here created more purple, and now I look like I've got rainbow eyes. Completely unintentionally, but there we go. That's a bit of fun. And I think it looks even cooler sitting back. It kind of looks cool. So what do I think about these shadows from Clionadh? I think they're actually really, really good. I was surprised at how easy it was to get the color pigmentation built up. There's barely any building at all. You definitely saw with the color like this one that I put in the crease that it was like, bam, color. These mattes are very, very, very powdery. If you use something like Anastasia Beverly Hills or Lorac, the Pro eyeshadows, and you think they're too powdery, these are like 3 times the amount of powder. So you have to be very, very, very careful. They're also very delicate. But I feel like that the shimmers are a little bit more substantial. You can sort of rub your brushing in it and you're not feeling like it's going to kick up heaps of product. So yeah, if you buy mattes, be super, super, super careful with them. The shimmers, they are a little bit better. I did gouge my finger into this one when I was putting them in this in the palette, so that's my fault. But the quality is beautiful. I think it's totally worth the wait. I think it's totally worth the money. So even though I like the effect of the mattes, so that yellow, for example, it's what I wanted the Juvia's Place formula to look like on my eye. I want it to be yellow and stick on my eye and actually look yellow if it's going to be yellow. Juvia's Place blended out to like soft lemon nothing. So I think these, like, the colors are fantastic. The pigmentation's great, but you need to decide whether or not you want to put up with the really soft formula. It's not that big a deal. It's just that it can get the palette quite messy. I found myself having to tap off my brush into this part because I just had so much powder on my brush that when I was like, even if I just touched it in, like an example, hang on, I'm just gonna get this brush. If you just touch it in, wait, I'll put it on the side that's got a bit of green. If you just touch it in, look how much you pick up. Like, it's crazy. You pick up so much, and I've already got a big dent in there. So like, partly because it cracked when I put it in the pan, but also because it's just so soft. So yeah, I think they're probably too soft, but the pigmentation is really, really good. That's just a tiny amount, and that's with a blending brush. So yeah, if I bought more in the future, which I probably will, and I'm really keen for their multi-chrome shadows now, I'd probably stick to the shimmers because they're safer in travel, and I just know that they are a little bit more substantial. But I really do like the look of the mattes, so I'm a little bit torn. I wore this one yesterday, and once again, I wore it with a blending brush, and I was surprised at how pigmented the color was on my eye just with a quick tap and a blending brush. It was crazy. So I really like these. I'm really impressed. I would definitely buy more, but warning, the mattes are very, very powdery. And even though I probably won't be, creating looks like this every day, I love the fact that I've got some really punchy, pigmented shades that I can very easily incorporate into another look with nudes or browns or, taupes or whatever it might be. And I know that the colors can hold their own against those shades. So I could imagine, going for some gold shades and working in some beautiful purples. And I know the gold won't overtake because these really do pack a punch. The one I put on my inner corner that I said looked like a topper shade in the pan is this light green down here. It almost looks like it should be translucent, but God, it applied beautifully. So I might actually swatch these before I end this so you can see exactly what shades I have, and then I'll list them in the description box. Anyway, I've had a good time using these Clionadh eyeshadows. I'm glad I took the plunge and decided to buy some. Now I'm like, I need another 5 to complete my palette. And then I've got another empty Z palette so I can get some more. But really, really nice quality. If you want colors with punchy pigment, punchy finishes, these are great. 1 limitation, or 2 limitations. They take a while to ship, but I can forgive it because they're worth it. And you can even see the powder just in the pan there. Mattes are very, very powdery. So yeah, I would still continue to use them, and I still will, if I want a yellow, I'm going to reach for this yellow because it's like the best I've got in my collection. But I think in the future, I will only buy mattes if they're colors that I really, really, really want. I wouldn't predominantly get mattes because I just feel like they're a little bit messy. I'd predominantly focus on the shimmers. All right, guys, hopefully you found that interesting. It's a bit of a different video, but I have an editing day today and I just thought, look, I really want to play with makeup, and boy, did I play with makeup. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.